Good morning, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we're looking at Euro USD, GBPUSD, Forex pairs to come up with trade ideas for the day as we do our daily analysis. So let's look at the Forex Factory, see what's lined up for this week. So Monday, as always, we do not expect to have any high impact news. So Monday we should be okay. Tuesday we only have speeches for the pound, and then Wednesday we have CPI for the pound, and President's speech on Wednesday for the US. So looking at the week ahead, really there's not much high impact except for the pound on Wednesday and possibly the president's speech, and then everything else following should be a medium impact. Okay, everything else following should be a medium impact in terms of the volatility on the market. Okay, so that's our look at the calendar. So come on to the Euro USD. So Euro USD is currently in this bearish pullback. Okay, Euro USD is in this bearish pullback. So we had a break of structure, and then this is our swing range. All right, this is our bullish swing range, and then this is basically our change of character on the daily. Okay, so which was to facilitate the internal pullback, and then we've run these lows. We've also violated this demand, but currently we are respecting this demand zone. Okay, we are, well, at least we are reacting from that demand. Okay, we have an unmitigated extreme right there. Okay, we have an unmitigated extreme. So the expectation is that I'm expecting to see price continue to go down. Okay, that's the expectation, to continue to see price go down at least towards this unmitigated extreme demand. So what do we have? We have newly created supply right there. So price could come in, give us a reaction to then continue with the bearish trend. However, taking note that the daily is bullish. Okay, daily internal is bullish, and we are within the swing range. So all of this is just to facilitate the internal pullback. Okay, so swing is also bullish. Okay, swing is also bullish. So everything that's happening so far in this area is simply a pullback. Okay, it's simply a pullback, both on the internal range as well as on the swing range. Okay, so this could be the end of the pullback, and we start continuing to the upside. Who knows, right? But we will be certain once supply areas start to fail, or once we have a choke, right, preferably with a candle close, then we can then start to anticipate that maybe the pullback is complete, and now we can start to look for longs. But as it stands, shorts is the way to go. Okay, shorts is the way to go based on the daily. And then looking at the 1 hour, the 4 hour. This is our 4 hour POI. That's holding. And then this is our 4 hour premium discount range. 4 hour is clearly bearish. We've had a break of structure. We've eliminated this area of demand on the daily. That means with all the nested 4 hour demand areas as well. Okay. And then all these POIs have been mitigated on some level. Okay. So if prices to continue, well, we already had a reaction here, right? That was a strong one, and now price has come back. Now price has come back into the area, so we would be expecting deeper mitigation, which has already happened. If price continues, then this might fail. Okay. Otherwise, the expectation is that we expect price to continue to go down. So on the 4 hour right now, we are in supply, in the supply zone. So we are not very clear about what price might do at this point, though the expectation is that we'll have a reaction and go back down. If this fails, then it's likely we're going to continue maybe above these highs, maybe towards that extreme. Okay, before we then get a reaction to go bearish again. And then on the 1 hour, we've had a bearish break of structure. Internal is bearish, swing is bearish, and let's see. Okay, so actually internal has switched bullish, right? So internal is bullish at the moment, although it could be bullish only to facilitate the pullback, right? And then we have this extreme that is unmitigated, so we could expect price to reach this extreme before it switches bearish. So if I'm to look to continue shorts, I would set and forget right at the extreme, right? I will be setting and forgetting at the extreme. Middle of the range, I wouldn't trust that. The departure is not as strong as I would like. Okay, we only have one extended range candle, whereas on the top we have 1, 2, 3 extended range candles. Our basing is quite strong, so 2 to 3 candles. Okay, on this lower one, these are all doji candles, so they are likely to fail. All right, so we are still expecting shorts on the 1 hour. This is the only strong POI supply area that we can look to short from. You could try this one, but it's weak. Okay, so the one with the better probability is this one at the top. This is an anticipation that the fractal structure is switched bullish just to facilitate the internal pullback. Okay, and then when we look at our premium discount range, we are already now in premium. We are now in premium. So, but this has already been mitigated now. Just had a slight reaction. We've created relatively equal highs. So this could be targeted and that liquidity taken, and then we could have a reaction either from this point, though this one is low probability and this is a stronger POI, where we can then look for that continuation to the downside if price is still continuing with the pullback. Okay, so that's on the euro dollar. And then let's look at the pound. So looking at the pound, what we have is so we've been having bullish breaks of structure to the upside until this point where we've had a bearish break of structure. However, price is still in this demand, so it's reacting, as we can see. The daily swing is bearish. Okay, so this is our swing range. So from a daily perspective, let's see, price is in premium. Okay, so we are reacting from this premium, so we are still in premium range, where it's highly likely to start looking for shorts. And then we do have this POI which hasn't been mitigated as yet, so the expectation is that price could continue just to mitigate this POI before we start realigning with the daily swing. So looking at the 4-hour, let's see what we have. Alright, so 4-hour, clearly we're bearish. Alright, we've had an internal break of structure, we have an unmitigated POI at the top. The pullback is very slow, okay, which is a good sign. So that means there's not much bullish momentum at this moment. So we could expect that price will continue slowly mitigate this supply, which is the only unmitigated supply in this range, and then we can expect a reaction from that supply zone. So in terms of our premium and discounts, our supply is in the premium range, alright, which is a good sign. It just increases to our odds. So on 1 hour, alright, 1 hour is bearish. So 1 hour swing, this is our swing range. We've had a break of structure. We are reacting to this POI. Okay, you could just cover the highs, but we're reacting to this POI. But this is in the middle of nowhere. Alright, so I'm expecting at least this fractal structure break POI to be mitigated before we then continue to the downside. If we fail to mitigate that, then we are looking at the extreme. And then when we look at everything else above that, everything else has already been mitigated. So these are the only two areas where we are looking to go short. Okay. So in summary, what we're saying is for both the pound and the euro dollar, we are expecting high probability trades will be shorts. Okay, we are expecting price from where it is at the moment. We are expecting a push up, right, to mitigate this supply, and then a push down. If this supply fails, then we're expecting at this extreme one. okay, which is the only one that is unmitigated. All right, and then we can expect to go short from there as well, because everything is bearish. Okay, 1 hour swing, 1 hour internal is bearish, so we can only be looking for shorts. 4 hour internal is bearish, and this is our current trend that we are trading within. Okay, current price action that we're dealing with. So 4 hour internal is bearish, 1 hour swing and internal are bearish, and then on the daily we've just had this internal break of structure to the downside, so everything is pointing down, so it's better odds to be looking for shorts. And then on the euro dollar, same thing. Yes, we violated this demand, so that means demand areas are still weak, and we are reacting from this one. Okay, we are reacting from this one, but we've just created new areas of supply right there. I will be aware of the high of that range. All right, so this is our supply. So the expectation right now is that price will mitigate for price to mitigate this supply, and then within this we can now start to look for shorts. And then on the 4 hour, this is what we have. On the 4 hour, we have already mitigated this POI twice, so it could fail. Okay, it could fail. All right. However, on the 1 hour, we've just mitigated the extreme, and it's holding. Okay, and it's holding. So that could be an area where we're looking for shorts. Okay. So we could take shots from there. However, I would think that price might do another run, sweep these relatively equal highs, and then meet the attack this POI, though it's pretty weak, and then at least mitigate this extreme before we then start pushing down. So this is a higher probability short. This one, yes, price could just continue from there, but POI has already been mitigated, right? The 4 hour, so some orders have already been filled, and then we've just mitigated the extreme where the reaction, we've come back, created relative equal highs, so it's likely that this could fail. Okay, so that's the analysis for today on both the euro dollar and the pound. So shorts is the way to go. So as always, if you find value in this material, please hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment and let me know if you're finding value in this. Other than that, have a good day. Working Trader out.